Right. Hello there, ladies and germs. Yes, this time round you've opened up with a full frontal of my face. I apologise. I know this is going to send, elderly screaming onto the streets. Chaos, pandemonium, fuck you, all the rest of it. But yeah, the Shadowscythe is going to do LDD again. Last time round I was using BB Flashback Recorder Pro, blah blah blah, yada yada yada, the older program I was using to try and capture it, and yeah, the quality was alright. The fact I included a webcam was also decent, but apparently my sound slipped out of sync towards the end of the video, and my mouth didn't fully sync up with what was being shown on the webcam in the corner. So this time round, I'm doing more editing and shit. There's also a strange noise that's coming from over there. Fairly sure someone's about to come and kill me. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm going to be designing a new ship for my great and mighty Scythian Empire, which is my brikwars army, which is kind of half real models, half LDD. You've seen one real model in previous Scythe, just beer and bricks, and one LDD model. Today you're going to be seeing another LDD model. I'm going to be rebuilding one of my carriers, and in a moment I'm going to switch over to LDD. I'm going to rip that carrier from its bloody sockets, I'm going to plant it into another file, and I'm going to start rebuilding it, and yeah, there'll be more stuff. So I'm going to see you on the other side of editing. Right then, and now we've met each other on the other side. This is the carrier in question. It's a reasonably old model, one of my earliest. It was the Gladiator class carrier. It was basically designed so that top level was basically all of the crew, space, mess halls, barracks, meds, storage, you name it, it was all in there. There were a couple of guns for basic defense, and this underside ring, well, not so much ring as just extended shape, was designed to be all the main carrier decks. As time goes on, I've kind of grown bored with the design, but never really found the time or the opportunity to redesign it. Now, I do like this ring element, but I don't like the rest of the body, because I was basically copying a flattened version of my Monarch class battleship. What I'm really going to try and do is rejigger and rebeef this design into something a lot more modern looking in the style of the rest of my forces, and just something more befitting an actual carrier. So without further ado, I'm going to say cue the Sedboom, let's get building. Right then, ladies and germs. After yet another glorious time lapse, I have... Oh, I've missed a bit. Shit. Don't tell anyone. I missed 2 bits even. I have finished the brand spanking new carrier design for the great and mighty Scythian Empire. You'll have noticed that yet again, it's quite a lot fucking bigger. The reasoning behind this is because I actually wanted fighter bays that looked like they could be used to launch fighters. Now, you've kind of seen this interior section I went through, kind of coloured grey to look almost industrial styled, blue force fields inside. Those sections are obviously where they keep the fighters, before they then get shunted through the force fields onto either one of the flight decks, because there'll be no gravity, so there's like no reason to keep an individual flight deck. Why have 2 when you can have 4? Launch out the back, launch out the front, almost Battlestar style, but static launch bays rather than, you know, Viper style, phew, 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 out the side and then having to fly back in. They just launch directly out the front and out the back. The size difference, obviously, it needed to look like a carrier. And a carrier is going to be a hell of a lot different to your average battleship. In my mind, whenever a carrier turns up to a battle, that is the point where shit's gotten real, because it's no longer just a fight. It is a fight that one of the 2 sides is willing to throw an entire floating city's worth of resources into to win. Thousands of men and women, thousands of fighters, enough equipment to take and hold an area for a semi-permanent basis, to operate ground forces, air forces, the works. If one of the sides is deploying carriers, it's a long-term devotion, because carriers are fucking expensive. So this is shown in regards to the size. It is not necessarily twice as long, but I would say twice the mass. It's wider, it's bigger, it's umphier, it's got nastier guns, it's got more guns, it's in the same turret style of which I did for the Regent. These little domes, which I'm highlighting now, which I copied to the top and the bottom, are the shield arrays, which are obviously going to be a hell of a lot more powerful than the other one, which has only got 2 of the buggers. Enhanced sensors. The bridge, in comparison to the old one, has been made larger but also shrunk into this almost a bunker type structure on the top, and the engine is just a hell of a lot bloody bigger with the 3-layer colour effect I do with the transparency. It's a trick I developed not too long ago that I genuinely wonder why the hell I never did before. But there you go, this is my new carrier design for the great and mighty Scythian Empire, and I've been thinking in the back of my head while I've been running through the rest of this. You got the Regent, you've got the Rigel Cantorus, which is a different name for a different reason. You've got the Monarch, you've got the Emperor, you've got the Empress, you've got the Despot, you've got the Deity. I am thinking for this of going along the lines of the Scythian Empire Gone Dark, naming it the Tyrant class carrier. Because it's big, it's bulky, it's nasty, and when it turns up, someone's getting a fucking headache. So, yeah, there we go. I'm just going to go right ahead and finish the video off now. Thank you very much for watching. Sedboom is again linked below. Brikwars will again be linked below. Fare thee well, fellow buttfuckers.